Hi, this is Kirsty Grossart, and today I'm going to take you through a straight arm bodyweight strength workout. We're going to begin by warming up our wrists and our shoulders, and then we'll get into the strength exercises. So the first thing we're going to do is a wrist warm up, and we're really going to focus on how we engage our hands with the floor. So I say this all the time, but you want active hands in order to protect your wrists and protect your shoulders, and to really get the most out of these exercises. So we're going to get contact with the floor with the heel of our hand, both on the thumb side and the other side, as well as this knuckle area where our calluses are. So we're going to get that contact with the floor. And then we're going to slightly bend our fingers and we're going to grip the floor with our fingers. We're going to push down and gently screw our hands into the floor as if we're rotating out the way slightly. Okay, it's a very gentle movement, but that really sets your shoulders up how you want them. So in this position, we're just going to do some gentle stretching. So we're going to lean forward, keeping the heel of your hand down and moving back. And we're just going to gently rock back and forward, increasing our range a little bit each rep as your wrists get warmer. We're going to stay in this forward position, gently rock side to side. You want to be really careful as you're doing this one, or mindful that you're keeping this knuckle down. So this first knuckle from the index finger, you want to avoid that lifting off the floor. You want to keep that pressed down as you gently rock side to side. And we'll go back to leaning a little further forward. So we're going to do a little bit of active work now. And we're going to do this in a slight hands turned out position. So rather than having our index finger forward, we're going to now point our thumbs forward. And this just stretches in a slightly different direction, which is a bit more applicable to some of the exercises we're doing today. So in this position, again, contact with the floor, gripping with your fingers, pushing down. We're going to go into a slight lean, and I want you to feel a little bit of a stretch. Okay, this shouldn't be anything intense, just a little bit of a stretch in that position. And we'll hold. And now we're going to push down with our hands into the floor. So it's almost as if I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to move into an open wrist position. So I'm pushing down. And then I slowly release that, lean a little further forward, and we'll hold for another 10 seconds. So this just gets some blood flowing through our forearms and gets our wrists a little more prepared for what we're about to do. I'm going to do the same in the other direction. So you're going to take your wrists on the back of your hands, and this might feel very intense, so you don't want to put all your weight on your hands if that's feeling too much of a stretch here. Take your hands to the side of your knees. Again, this should be a nice, gentle stretch. This shouldn't feel painful or super intense. This is a warm-up. So we're just stretching in this direction. And same thing, now we're going to push our hands into the floor, okay, as if I'm trying to bring my hands back to a straight position. So pushing down with my hands, we'll do that for about 10 seconds. You want to go gentle with this, about 30% of your max. And relax. Maybe you can sit a little further back now. We'll shake that out. We're going to move in and do a little bit of work on our shoulders. So the first thing we're going to do is circles. And we're going to do this with our hands on the floor. So exactly the same thing with your wrists and this, with your hands in this one. So engage with the floor, grip slightly, do that slight rotation. Then we're going to push the floor away. We're going to bring our shoulders up towards our ears. We're going to drop down, squeeze our shoulder blades together. You're going to move your shoulders as if you're trying to move your shoulder blades down towards your hips. Then we're going to push down again, bring our shoulder blades away from our spine. And then we're going to come up to our ears. So we're just performing these circles with our shoulder blades. And don't worry if you have to go really slowly with this. At first you probably will. And then go the other direction. So we're doing about 10 one direction, 10 the other direction. Pay attention to whether you're bending your arms. That can be a common thing we do when we try and move our shoulder blades. Other parts of our body want to move as well. So we want to really isolate. Good. So 10 each direction. Now we're going to move on to a hanging variation of that same exercise. So we're now going to perform shoulder circles in a hanging position. So the idea for this one is we're moving our shoulders through exactly the same path that we were doing with our hands on the floor. But this time, we're in this hanging position. So the first thing we do, squeeze our shoulder blades together. Shoulder blades up towards your ears. Move your shoulder blades apart. Shoulder blades down towards your hips. Squeeze, up. And then we go the other direction. So 5 to 10 reps in each direction, and then we're ready to get started with the workout. So our first strength superset is going to be alternating a plank lean with a knee pull and a side plank with a reach. Okay, so let me show you these two exercises. For the plank lean, we're going to use that same hand position that we used in the warm-up. So thumbs pointed forward, hands slightly turned out. Now you want to set up in a position where you're able to maintain a nice push through your shoulders so you get that rounding through your upper back. So only lean as far as you're able to maintain that position. The closer your feet come to your hands, the more challenging this exercise is. So pushing down, walk my feet in, squeeze tight. I'm going to pull one knee in and the other. And you're going to repeat for 10 reps each side. We're going to go from this exercise into a side plank exercise. So for this one, you want your elbow under your shoulder, your hand flat on the floor, pushing into the floor. Your top leg is in front of your bottom leg. Okay, hips stacked vertically on top of each other. And then you're going to push up into the air. From here, pushing tall, you're going to reach this arm underneath as far as you can. And back up. I'm going to do 8 reps on one side, and then we'll switch and we'll do 8 reps on the other side. You're going to repeat that superset for 3 to 5 rounds. For this second superset, we're going to alternate a upside down hold. So we're going to jump up to an inverted position and we're going to hold in a tight position upside down on the rings. We're going to hold that for 10 to 30 seconds. And then we're going to alternate that with a chest to wall handstand, which we'll also hold for 10 to 30 seconds. For the chest to wall, you can hold it at an incline to the wall, or you can walk your hands up and hold it in a full chest to wall handstand. So for the pull to inverted, the key with this one is you don't want to throw your head back, because what that does is it takes you into extension and makes it much harder for you to lift your feet. So you actually want to pull down and you want to get that movement by lifting your knees up, okay, rather than by throwing your shoulders back. So you pull down, lift your knees up, and then lower to an inverted position. The final part of our workout is going to be L-sit to tuck planche, and I'm going to show you a few variations for this exercise. The way I want you to do this is I want you to accumulate a total of 10 reps. Now this could be 10 reps in one set if you're a complete badass. or it could be 10 sets of 1 reps, which is also pretty badass. The first variation for this, you're going to keep your feet on the floor the entire time. The most important thing is that you keep pushing down and you're using as much of the strength in your shoulders as you can. So pushing down, walk my feet through. For the second variation of this exercise, you're going to walk your feet up, lift to a tuck planche, and lower back down. For the third variation, you're going to begin in an L-sit, press up to the tuck planche, and then lower back down. So choose whichever level of that exercise is right for you and try to accumulate 10 reps, taking as long as you need in order to do that.